I'm Alan Dale from Gale Force Winds. It's such a pleasure to be here at Discovery Community College. I love the regulated colleges because they understand the importance of people advancing their careers, strengthening the community largely around them, and they understand that learning has to be dynamic, flexible, and meet the students where they are, and they provide skills for those students to ensure that they get jobs right out the other end. That's what they're good at. The people that we're in conversation with all add a piece to that puzzle. And on that note, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do here at Discovery.
Sure. I'm Desiree King, and my title is Director of Business Development. A big part of what I do is access government grants so that students can come to school and without having to pay the tuition fee.
Desiree, that's so important, right? Because
Yes.
There's many barriers to learning, and one of the big ones is money, right? A lot of people have a lot of things going on in their life and a lot of reasons why they shouldn't do something.
Yes.
And one of the big things that they turn, well, I can't afford that, but I love the fact that the British Columbia government leans into this, and they have somebody on your team who kind of finds that pathway. Talk to me about the importance of sort of being in a constant dialogue with the government to show them the needs of the communities around them.
Okay, great. Well, the first thing is they're not an easy customer. Mm-hmm. You have to be diligent, and you have to ensure that you're getting the results you promise you're going to get. And that's what makes Discovery such a great college, because we work very, very hard to, first of all, get them through their program, because sometimes they need some flexibility. Mm-hmm. And so we can work with them to get them through that program, and we can work with them to ensure they get employed as quickly as possible. Right.
Now, so what type of conversations are you in with the government on a sort of day-to-day basis?
A lot of it is labor market information.
Okay.
So where are the jobs? What do they look like? How much do they pay? Can I go work in Starbucks with no training for the same amount of money, kind of thing? So labor market information is really important, and we tend to be ahead of that. So we are usually telling the government what it looks like,
right,
because we're in touch with employers on a continual basis, because we want to ensure that those students have a place to actually go and work when they're finished their training.
So Desiree, if I'm connecting the dots correctly, you're sort of out there, you're listening to the needs of industry. They're saying these are the type of skills that we need in people. You're then able to go to government and say, hey, this is what industry is looking for. Work with them to create funding envelopes to solve that problem.
Yes.
And then the benefit to all of this is that the student, when they arrive at the door, a lot of the groundwork has been done, and you've got funding in place to help them get through.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a fantastic model, right? That shows that sort of government, industry, and academia are working so effectively together, all with one idea in mind, that the student gets the right skill at the right time to go to work.
Right.
You're involved in some really sort of interesting models right now around the Indigenous communities in British Columbia. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, one of the things that the government has brought up is the fact that there's a lot of unemployed Indigenous peoples. And of course, usually if they're unemployed, it's because of lack of training, lack of support, and that comes back to the word reconciliation. So it's been really exciting working with Lisa Wolf, our Indigenous relations consultant, and going out and meeting with the different bands, because we're able to see firsthand what the issues are, what the problems are, and how we can be a receptacle, so to speak, to assist them.
Right, and meet them where they are with that training. You know, the other thing that when Lisa and I spoke, I was so intrigued by the conversations, the robust conversations that they were having with the elders in the community. Talk to me about the importance of getting the elders involved early and throughout the entire journey of education.
Right. Well, Indigenous people, I think, have it right on. Is you need the wisdom, and you need the support when you're trying to tackle something like getting through an educational program. It's not easy as an adult to go back to school. And so they have involved elders in that journey as a support system, which is wonderful, because they provide a sense of, I've lived, I've done it, you can do it too. So they're a real quiet support.
Right.
And they also bring the culture into light. So they talk about, their ancestors and what their ancestors might have done. They bring in stories, which really, it creates a calming effect.
Yeah.
And so they're really important part of the support, for sure.
More than even more than a role model, more than a mentor. It's a deeper conversation than that, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It talks about past traumas and things like that, and how they were able to make it through this stuff, and now this next generation of people, those people that are starting this education, that they can get through it too.
That's right.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure to be in conversation with you. I love what Discovery does, and you're such a vital piece of sort of connecting that dot between government, industry, and academia. Again, I say all for the benefit of one group of people, and that's the students that arrive at the doorstep to make sure that they get the right skills
That's
for
right.
the right job.
That's right.
Thank you for being in conversation.
Yes, thank you.